I think our members are doing a good job of selecting within their herds for the better cattle, eliminating those that aren't going to work for themselves or customers, and putting the best foot forward for the Braunvieh breed.
Hello and welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minnick. This week our show features Braunvieh, and we're going to see these cattle at work in various operations in Texas and Kansas. Braunvieh are a remarkably versatile and hardy breed with a proven ability to deliver fertility, longevity, and docility. On today's program, we're going to look particularly at the tremendous maternal ability of these cattle. Braunvieh excel in commercial programs and have a track record of both grading and yielding well at finish. We'll meet a number of stockmen that know these cattle at key stages of beef production, and we'll get their thoughts on the breed. A little later, we'll visit with GrowSafe Systems, which is bringing cattlemen the technology of measured feed efficiency. We've got a good program for you. We're glad you joined us. Stay tuned. We'll be back with our Braunvieh story. Welcome back to The American Rancher. Braunvieh cattle have been recognized for a number of positive traits on both the maternal and carcass sides of beef production. On today's show, we're going to look into the versatility of the Braunvieh female and the exceptional value that she brings to commercial ranchers. Braunvieh found their way to the U.S. from the Swiss Alps, where they are known for being hardy, dual-purpose mountain cattle. Braunvieh cows will typically weigh 1,100 to 1,400 pounds, and mature bulls 1,800 to 2,500 pounds. High butterfat, feed-efficient Braunvieh defy the maternal and carcass antagonism, as well as the marbling and muscling antagonism found in so many breeds. Braunvieh are a moderate-framed, highly adaptable breed. They consistently gain, grade, and yield while also possess great mothering characteristics. Braunvieh are a uniquely splendid package of carcass and maternal ability.
I retain ownership on all my home-raised calves clear through the feed yard. And here a few years ago, I got to looking at the Braunvieh deal. So I went and bought me a couple of quarter-blood Braunvieh bulls, trying to introduce a little Braunvieh genetics into my calves. And I liked it real good. And been getting back anywhere from $40 to $80 a head premium on them calves. In this cattle deal, you have got to squeeze every nickel you can squeeze out of your calf, or you're not going to make it. And I just like the idea of the Braunviehs.
Franz Betchler is a commercial cattle producer who backgrounds and feeds cattle outside Ashland, Kansas. Over the past few years, Franz has developed a commercial cow herd of Braunvieh and Braunvieh cross females, which he breeds to Gardner Angus bulls. The calves, as you might expect, are quite good.
I've got some Braunvieh cows, and I'm in the process of trying to find more Braunvieh cows to where I get to 100% Braunviehs. I like the disposition of the cows. I call them old man cows because they're easy to handle. And I like the way the cows milk. Our conception rate's good, and the longevity of them cows, they seem to just go on forever.
Franz likes what the Braunvieh cows deliver to his operation. They are functional with good maternal traits, and the calves bring premiums as they go up the production chain.
I buy all my bulls off Gardner's right down the road here, you know. The main thing I'm after is that dollar, that bottom line, you know. And like I said, we've been getting about the least I think we've gotten is $40 premium, and the most is about $80 premium by hanging them on the rail. And you can't get that unless you got some genetics there, you know. So
Braunvieh are documented to be a maternal breed by Meat Animal Research Center data, which found Braunvieh cross females to excel in early puberty and high fertility when compared to other breeds. Their data also showed Braunvieh cross females to have one of the highest 200-day calf weight per cow exposed of all breeds, while having one of the lowest average mature cow weights of continental breeds examined.
Personally, myself, I've just got this idea that I want all Braunvieh cows, you know. For somebody like I am in the commercial cow business, I can't see that you could find a better cow than an Angus Braunvieh 50-50 put back in your herd.
Randy Olson is a commercial rancher from southeast Kansas that likes the multiple positive results that Braunvieh has brought to his family's operation. Randy says he considers the Braunvieh Cross Angus female to be this generation's equivalent of the Black Baldy cow.
The cattle have made us money and have done really well for us. And that's the thing that with the Braunvieh cattle that has impressed me is the carcass traits. But we've got the maternal traits there, the good mothers, the breed back, the tremendous udders, the teats on cows. You know, heifers, you calve them out that are little, and they're just a phenomenal mama. I'm running the Braunvieh Angus Cross is what I'm really shooting for. And I tell them, a lot of the guys I know and ask me about them, I said, to me, they're the modern Black Baldy cow. Because you get the hybrid vigor and the cross, you get the breed back, the good mothers, the tremendous udder and stuff, but you don't get into the eye problems and the udder problems that you run into some of the other deals. They're real good cattle. You know, we've messed with several different breeds down through the years, and that's probably one of the big things that I just sure want to make sure we keep in our cow herd is the Braunvieh influence.
Bob and Marilyn Brink raise registered Braunvieh cattle in the Kansas Flint Hills near Piedmont. Genuine maternal quality in the pasture, as well as consistently measurable feed yard performance in terms of yield and grade, are facts about the breed.
The things that we really liked about them were the maternal characteristics, udder quality, fertility, the longevity of the cow, the way they can just go out and have a calf. That calf is right up and nursing. Survivability of the baby calves is just phenomenal. So that's the thing we like, is they take care of those calves. We don't have to.
Marilyn Brink serves as president of the Braunvieh Association of America and knows the cattle have what commercial cattlemen need today from raising them herself. Marilyn says interest in Braunvieh forms once people get informed about them.
The Braunvieh cattle are a truly economically viable breed, and that's why we have them. That's what we can promote to our customers. You don't need a specialty market for them. There's lots of feedlots who are searching out Braunvieh calves. The Braunvieh cattle have the ability to increase marbling without increasing external fat, and that's so important when you look at price of grain, price of land, all of your prices of input.
Dr. Harold Garner has built an accomplished career as a veterinarian and professor of veterinary medicine, as well as numerous research and successful development endeavors related to vaccines and anti-serum. Dr. Garner is also a livestock producer who knows and has owned Braunvieh-influenced cattle.
The first ones bought about 2 truckloads out of Missouri, and they did well. They were Angus Cross, and we buy some in October and then on through to March or April. Yes, sir. And probably average about 100 days or more. And we try to get a gain on them of 250 to 300 pounds, and they stay right in there. From the calf standpoint of buying them, to background them for yearlings and going to feed yard, they grow well, they have good bone and substance, and what else can you say about cattle? Mr. Brink wants to sell me some more calves while I'm in the market.
Braunvieh cows have been documented repeatedly for their ability to remain productive in cow herds for 10 years or more. Certain stayability comparisons between Angus and Braunvieh sired replacement females within common Midwestern herds have shown that by percentage, nearly twice as many Braunvieh cows remained in herds after 10 years of production.
Braunvieh cattle do work. They've got a good place in today's commercial cow herd. I think it's a fair statement to say that a Braunvieh female just can't hardly be beaten in the mothering category. Not enough people know what the Braunvieh can do. When they do find that out, they become believers. And hybrid vigor plays a very important economic role for any commercial cattleman. So the Braunvieh bull on a black cow herd just creates the most awesome female genetics you're going to see, and steers that really will do well in the feedlot.
When we come back, we'll visit Braunvieh operations in Texas, where these cattle face environmental demands that are challenging. And we'll see the adaptability of these cows in action with a big calf at their side. This is the American Rancher. Stay with us. Welcome back to the American Rancher. Braunvieh cattle are making a name for themselves in American ranching due to good traits such as adaptability and longevity. In Texas, John and Loretta Hall are beef producers who recognized the value of Braunvieh years ago and have been advocates of them ever since.
Braunvieh cattle, these heifers, a lot of the cattle that we've developed over 20, 25 years has made our goals and our targets easier. We definitely are a carcass breed. We're definitely an efficient feeder breed. There's no doubt about it that we can feed efficiently as good as anybody out there. What is amazing about these cattle is they can do that and they can still be so maternal, so fertile. Because we run a ranch and we have to make our living off of this ranch and we have to make our living out of these cows. They've got to do what we say they'll do.
John Hall is a longtime commercial and registered beef producer from the ranch country about Headley, Texas. John and his wife Loretta have introduced many cattlemen to Braunvieh, as well as raised their own in both commercial and registered ventures.
Braunviehs are absolutely awesome mamas. They're good carcass cattle, but they are really, really, really maternal cows. They give lots of milk, they take good care of their babies, wean big old calves. They fit the bill. We expect our cows to calve in a 45-day calving period, and we've done that about 9 years in a row. They're fertile. We don't have a lot of trouble getting them bred the first time. Don't have a lot of trouble getting them bred for the second calf, and that's the hardest calf to get, the second one. All of our cows are in country that look like this, big open country, brushy. They have to work out here or they don't work at all.
What started me with Braunvieh was I bought a couple of bulls from John and Loretta, and I saw a pen of heifers they had. And those heifers had a butt that was so wide, it made my calves look like they were stepchildren. And I said, makes sense. If I can wean a calf that's got that kind of muscle and that kind of meat, and hey man, that's what I want to do. So that's what started me looking at Braunvieh. Then we started working with DNA and looking at the palatability of the calves that we're raising and the feed efficiency. And there's some of these cows out here and some of the calves in the back, their feed efficiency numbers are outstanding.
Braunvieh cattle are docile. We demand it in our herd, we demand it in our program, and it's been an easy to pick the cattle that have worked for us in our program that are easy to handle. We can work them on horseback, we can work them with dogs, we can work them with foot, we can sook them around with a cake wagon. They'll roam in big pastures, they'll work in little paddocks. They're very adaptable cattle.
The Braunvieh udder is a model for the beef-producing cow, and the milk flow keeps calves growing. With their ruggedness and typical docile disposition, Braunvieh adapt well to tropical areas, grasslands, and high-altitude ranges. The natural dark pigmentation around the eyes makes pink eye unlikely. Todd and Kara Hill operate the Diamond H Ranch south of Childress, Texas, and raise some of the nation's best Braunvieh cattle. The Diamond H is home to the noted sire Ranger 11R. The Hill family has a tremendous cow herd that ranges out on rough, open country where they have to make a living under often difficult conditions. Todd says that Braunvieh make the most sense when you consider the whole picture.
These Braunvieh cattle have done a terrific job adapting to these harsh conditions. We're pretty hard on culling these cattle, and if they don't put a live calf on the ground every 365 days, if they don't wean a calf that's half of their body weight, we're going to get rid of them. So to make it 10 years and make it the last 4 years and what you see around here says a whole lot, not only about that cow, but I think the breed in general.
The Diamond H has a two-pronged breeding strategy. The majority of the herd is registered and a portion of the herd that remains full-blood. AI breeding is used extensively to bring in the finest genetics available. The main focus is the production of purebred seed stock that will assist the astute commercial cattleman to increase his profitability per animal. The Diamond H emphasis is polled, black, and calving ease in a package that will perform.
Fertility is everything to a cow-calf operator. If she doesn't breed, you can forget it. You're going to lose money 100% of the time. You cannot feed an open cow. So if you're going to make money, they've got to breed every year over and over and over. And these Braunvieh cattle, they're fertile quicker and they stay fertile longer than any breed I'm aware of. I've got dozens of cattle that are over 10 years old, and I've got several that are 15 and 16, still raising cattle, still good calves, still got a lot of punch in their bag. They're still doing their job.
Scott Cooper has worked as a meat processor for more than 30 years and operates a custom packing business in Wellington, Texas. Scott has processed Braunvieh cattle from Todd Hill and notes that the cutability of the carcasses are remarkably free of excess waste despite their considerable size.
I've known Todd for about 2 years, and his beef, just every time he's brought them in, they've just been exceptional beef. Normally anything gets up in weight the size that he brings them, it's a lot of waste, just a lot of waste. You put 1,000 pounds on them, it's just going to be fat. I'm going to throw it into a barrel, trim it off because none of it's edible. His dressed weights are usually around 1,000, 900 to 1,000. That's the dressed weight hanging in here. Anything normally that gets that big is usually too much fat. But his were always just, the fat cover on them was, just perfect almost, for being that big. They got good fat cover like they should, but they're just not overly fat.
And these Braunvieh cattle love to raise kids. I mean, they're just good mamas, and I think that's important too. And that's very much a part, not just of my herd. All Braunvieh cattle are extremely maternal in nature.
Feed comprises about 70% of all costs for cattle operations. So how do cattle producers improve the feed efficiency of their herds and increase the profitability of their businesses? With GrowSafe systems. GrowSafe feed intake and behavior monitoring technology has been installed in dozens of major ag universities, research centers, and seed stock operations worldwide, including the Noble Foundation in Oklahoma.
And we work pretty closely with GrowSafe. It's been a really good relationship with them. We're able to serve as a test location for some of their prototype equipment, some of their software algorithms we're able to use and evaluate for them in a field situation.
The technology has provided the means to identify which animals require less feed for growth and maintenance. The scientific term for this is residual feed intake, better known as RFI. RFI is also known as net feed intake, or NFI.
The GrowSafe feed intake system is really powerful because it lets us measure feed intake of individual animals in a commercial environment, and that lets us easily calculate feed efficiency for individuals instead of relying on calculations for a pen or for a herd.
Here's how the system works. To determine RFI, a GrowSafe system takes an accurate measurement of feed consumed by each animal during the feeding trial. The weight of the feed and the weight of the animal, as well as average daily gain, is then used to calculate RFI and determine how efficient the animal is.
A really cool feature of the GrowSafe system for a researcher is just the sheer amount of data that it produces. In a traditional feeding experiment, we may only have 3 observations of an animal's body weight. 1 weight on a chute scale at the beginning of the experiment, 1 maybe in the middle, and 1 at the end of the experiment. With the GrowSafe beef system, we may get 60 or 70,000 observations of an animal's body weight. And when we get that kind of data, that allows us to use some more advanced statistical analysis techniques that just aren't available if you don't have that type of data.
Improve feed efficiency, reduce costs, ensure animal health and well-being. That's GrowSafe Systems. For more information, visit www.growsafe.com.
We'd like to thank our guests and GrowSafe for a great show. The Braunvieh Association of America is a quality group of beef producers that have developed a very commercially and economically viable breed that's delivering both maternal and carcass punch in one package for today's rancher. Look into Braunvieh. For more information, log on to braunvieh.org. That's all the time we have today. We invite you to visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or check us out on Facebook. I'm Pam Minnick. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you down the road.